Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how I made this simple kimono dress. This is a beginner friendly tutorial. If you'd like to see how I made this, please watch to the end of this video. For this project, I used 2.5 yards of Ankara fabric. So I folded the front part into 2 and the back part into 2. I'll be cutting the front and the back together, and I've ruled out a line as the shoulder line, as you can see. So to know the fabric you put on fold, I measured half of my shoulder measurement plus the length of the sleeve I want, and also the hemming allowance for the sleeve opening. So altogether I have 21.5 inches. That is half of the shoulder plus the sleeve length. And the length of my my fabric, I have 43 inches including the hemming allowance. So on this straight line I've ruled on top, which acts as the shoulder line, I'm going to impute half of the shoulder measurement, and from there I'm going to measure 13 inches, which is the length of the sleeve I want including the hemming allowance. Okay, so the length of the sleeve I want is 11 inches. I added extra 2 inches for hemming allowance, and the total I have there now is 21.5 inches. At this point I came down by 1.5 inches for the shoulder slope, and I'm going to measure out 3 inches, which is the neck width I'm working with, and then I'm going to connect this 1.5 inches I came down by to the 3 inches of the neck width for the shoulder slope. So for the sleeve opening, I'm going to come down from the shoulder line by 12 inches. That's what I want for my sleeve opening. So I came down from the shoulder line by 12 inches. So you can see me measuring down 12 inches. Okay, so at this 12 inches point I came down by, I'm going to measure the exact same thing I have on the shoulder line, 21.5 inches. So I'm measuring that. I'm imputing the measurements, then I'm going to connect these 2 points, what I have at the shoulder line and what I have at the 12 inches point, the 21.5 inches. I'm going to connect them together. Now at this 12 inches I came down by, I'm just going to extend it this way. I'm just making an extension to meet that sleeve point. So on this 12 inches point, I'm going to impute quarter of my biggest body measurement, which is the hip. So quarter of the hip I'm working with is 12 inches. So I'm going to add extra 2.5 inches to that for ease and sewing allowance, making a total of 14.5 inches. So I just imputed 14.5 inches, and I'm going to bring down this 14.5 inches all down to the hem. So the measurement from this 12 inches point to the hem is 14.5 inches. So I've noted that, and I'm going to join all these points with a straight line like I'm doing. Then I'm going to make a curve at this point. Okay, I came down by 2 inches this way and went outward by 2 inches and made a curve for the underarm. Okay, for the underarm area. So for the neckline, I'm using a neck width of 3 inches and a neck depth of 1 inch for the back neckline. And then for the front neck depth, I'm going to use 16.5 inches. So I'm measuring 16.5 inches for the front neck depth, 3 inches neck width and 16.5 inches neck depth for the front, and I'm going to just connect this way for the neckline. Then after making the neckline, I'm going to add 1/2 inch joining allowance on the shoulder area for joining the front and the back together. So I'm just taking that 1/2 inch and I'm going to just connect the points. So after doing this, we've taken all measurements. I've taken all measurements. I'll just go ahead and cut out the dress. I'll go ahead and cut out the dress. So guys, if you're watching up to this point and you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do well to click the subscribe button to subscribe, and also turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. So as I'm cutting them together, you can notice I cut the back neckline first. Please don't cut the front and the back together when you're cutting the front neckline. So I'm just going to lift up the front part and cut out the front neckline. So you can see how I lifted it up and I'm cutting out the front neckline. and knot together with the lower fabric for the back. And I'll go ahead and split the center front into two after cutting the neckline. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just going to go ahead and split it into two because the front is going to be open. So after cutting them, I'm just going to join them by the shoulder. That's the first thing you do. I'm opening the back to the front side. So I'm going to place them front sides together, front sides facing each other. Then I'm going to sew with the ½ inch. On the ½ inch I took for the shoulder allowance. That's how I'm going to sew them together on the shoulder. So I've placed them this way. So I'll go ahead and sew, joining the front and the back together by the shoulder. So that's what I'm going to do. So I've joined them by the shoulder. This is what I have. The next thing will be to hem the sleeve opening. Okay, I would first iron the seam I just made, then I'm going to fold 1 inch and then another 1 inch and hem the sleeves, the two sleeves. Okay, so that's what I'll do for the both of them. After doing that, I'll then turn my fabric to the wrong side, right sides facing each other, and then sew with 1 inch allowance on the sides and sew them down. So I've done all that. I've sewn the dress and I've hemmed the sleeve, so you can see what I have. The next will be to cut out the collar for the opening, for the neckline and the front opening. So to do that, I'm going to start taking the measurements I have for the front opening from one hem, from one side, okay, from the lower part this way. So I'm just going to go ahead and measure all the opening this way. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to take my measurement all from one part, from the lower part of one side to the other side, so you can see what I'm doing. So when I measure to 60, I'm going to continue again and start measuring till I get to the end. So whatever I have now, add it to the 60 I have already measured. So I measured to this point. I have 38 plus 60, I have about 98. So I cut out a long strip. Unfold, okay, unfold, I have 2 inches. When you open it up, it's 4 inches, and the length I cut out was about 100. Okay, so if you can't have the length at once, just cut 2 strips and join them together to make up the strip you want. So this strip now that I cut that is unfold is on the right side, so I'm going to join it right sides touching each other. This way I'm demonstrating, and I'm going to sew on ½ inch allowance on this opening, so it's like the collar for this dress. So I'm going to sew from one end to the other end. After sewing, I'm going to fold twice and hem the lower part of this dress. So I've done all that. I've attached the collar. You can see what the dress looks like. I've attached everything. Okay, so everything is done. After doing that, I also hemmed the lower part, so I also ironed everything out. And this is it on how you can make this simple kimono dress. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like this video, and if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please subscribe, and also check out other videos I have on this channel. Until my next upload, bye.